Hi guys, today we're going to talk about photographing sunrises and sunsets. It's our favorite time of the day to be working. Your light is invariably really great, warm, low light, soft, and you get great colors in the images, and it makes for wonderful mood and that sort of thing. But it's also something to photograph in itself, the actual sunrise and the sunset. You can get the most magnificent scenes with beautifully lit clouds and mountains and whatever it is. Do be careful though before you point long lenses, especially at the sun. You can do yourself a lot of damage by looking at the sun through a long lens. It's very much a magnifying glass, and you can damage retinas and all sorts of things. So don't go out there pointing your 600mm lens at the sun only to have a look at it and fry your retina. We really don't want that to happen. A longish lens can do absolute wonders for a sunset rather than shooting a wide angle scene. If you get in there with a medium to longish telephoto, it helps make that big ball of sun that you're seeing out there on the horizon just that much bigger. And if you can put something in as a silhouette to add a component, to add complexity to the image, so it's not just the sun with the sky, but we've got a tree or a mountain or some rocks or something like this, so that there's more to the image, a little bit more visual complexity to the image rather than just the sun itself. So much more so too if you've got clouds in the sky. One finds that if there are no clouds, if it's just a clear blue sky, then that tends to look a little bit boring, even though the sun's going down. But if there's some clouds in there that are all lit up yellow and orange and red, so much the better. And then you take the tree or the rock or whatever it is and juxtapose this against the background. It looks absolutely fabulous. Getting the exposure right can be a little bit tricky because you've got the very bright area of the sun, which will tend to make the camera want to expose that correctly, in inverted commas. And so the rest of the picture will go very dark. And if you've got too much of your silhouettes in the image, those big dark areas can make the camera want to overexpose or to expose those dark areas correctly, which will overexpose the sun. So you need to get a happy medium between what's happening with the sun and the other elements in the image. If you've got silhouettes, don't worry about them. Let them go to black, because that's what we're wanting. We want them as silhouettes. And concentrating on getting the sun and the rest of the sky correctly exposed. Now, if the sun's a little bit bright, if you get that exposed correctly, everything else is going to go to black. The sun is that bright. So quite often you've got to sacrifice the sun and let it go to white and get the colors in the sky around it working very nicely. Sometimes, and I'm thinking of Botswana here, when the fires are burning in the middle of winter, when the haze is there, the sun turns into a red ball and it's not very bright. So you can actually look at it very easily with the naked eye and without damaging anything, without burning your retinas or anything like that. And those are ideal conditions to be working with sunsets and sunrises. If you want to really enhance things and make that sunset look spectacular, go to the white balance. And if you have a look here on the top right hand of the screen, I'll put a link into a video where we talk about white balance and that sort of thing. But go to your white balance and set it to shade. There's a little icon of a house or a little building with a shadow on the right hand side. If you go and set it to that, it adds a bit of warmth to the image and can make for some really spectacular sunsets. Aside from photographing the actual sunset or sunrise itself, it's worth just being a little bit patient at sunset and waiting for the sun to actually set and watching what happens afterwards. Quite often, 15 to 20 minutes after the sunset, that glow really comes on. And there's some beautiful images to be made of your cloud formations and structure silhouetted against this gorgeous orange sky. So don't be impatient, just hang around for a short while after the sun has actually set, and there's more to be photographed there. By the same token, get there a little bit before sunrise, because the same applies then, and you can start to get some really beautiful sunrise, some beautiful lights against the early morning sky. Check that out. It's worth taking the effort to be there just a little bit earlier. Another little tip is that while you're out there and you're shooting these gorgeous sunrises and sunsets, sometimes it's worth taking your flash either on camera or taking it off camera and just popping a bit of light into your subject if it's reasonably close by. And just a little bit of flash, you can on your camera you can very easily control how much flash you're adding to it by using the flash compensation settings. You just pop a little bit of light into the subject and it brings out a little detail, so we no longer are working with a silhouette, but your subject has some form and detail as well. If you're really enthusiastic about this, hang around for what they call the blue hour, or get there before the golden hour in the morning. You get the most beautiful blue tones to your image. The sky is a deep indigo, the same at sunrise, and you get some beautiful images if you're shooting away from the light. So you want the sunrise behind you or the sunset behind you. You're getting lovely, soft, warm lighting coming off from the color on the horizon, because there's still going to be a bit of color there where the sun has gone down or where it's about to come up. And so you get these lovely warm tones coming through with deep indigo skies. Really worth hanging around for that, to shoot that. And if you're shooting a cityscape, so much the better, or indeed a lodge or something with interior lights. You get that sunrise or sunset behind you, your lodge, your building with the interior lights, and this deep indigo sky. It looks absolutely fabulous and a great time to be shooting images. But again, you need to be there, and you need to be prepared to wait until you get to the right conditions. And that's about it for today. Just another warning about that looking through long lenses at sunrises and sunsets. Please be very careful. I hope you've enjoyed this one and learned some things from it. Give us a thumbs up, please, if you have. We will be doing more of these, so please don't forget to subscribe and hit the little alarm icon so that you're notified when we do another one. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.